Hello everyone. Welcome to Hindu Center of Atlanta's weekly spiritual learning. Today we are joined with Acharya Brahmadevji. Acharya is delivering a lecture on a series Practical Application of Yoga in Daily Life. Acharya Brahmadevji has an inclusive educational background in science, banking from University of Mauritius, management AV UK, and Darshanacharya Vedic philosophy, Darshan Yoga Mahavidyalaya, Gujarat, and a diverse career in financial services, industry, and at Aryasabha, Mauritius. He has been a key resource person for Aryasabha, Mauritius on the universal Vedic values, yoga and meditation, and on interfaith and intercultural dialogue at various national and international forums. The Mauritius Council of Religions, Arya Pratinidhi Sabha America, Greater Atlanta Vedic Temple, and Hindu Center of Atlanta Yoga and Meditation Center in Cumming. He is author of numerous insightful articles on Vedic philosophy and contemporary issues in English and French. Acharya.
Namaste, everybody. Let's bring our mind to focus. Sit down straight with the back, the neck, and the head in one vertical line. Keep the spine straight. Total relaxation of the body. No point of stress. The body totally relaxed from the sole, the heel, the legs, the thighs, the hip, the stomach, the back, the lungs and thorax, the shoulders and the neck, especially this is the region where we accumulate most of the stress. Just breathe in, breathe out, and feel the breath moving there and just shunning the stress when we breathe out. The facial muscles and the brain region. Deep inhale and exhale. Slow, long, breathe in and breathe out. And while breathe out, we'll be chanting Om, the universal sound, activating all the source of sound within ourselves. Om starts with the stomach, which we say Jatharagni. Then when it comes to U, it comes to the throat, and Ma comes to the brain. So feel the vibrations coming from the different regions at the same time. Mantra Path. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vedvishabhai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So welcome everybody. The sessions on the practical applications of yoga in daily life, referring from the Yoga Darshan, which is the authority on yoga. Just a recap, yoga starts with the yama, the precepts of social discipline, as we say, the don'ts. Then niyama, personal discipline, the do's. Asana, sthir sukham asanam, one posture in which we can sit down for a long time, completely relaxed for meditation. Pranayam, breath control. Pratyahar, introversion of the senses. Dharana, focus. Dhyan is now the process of meditation, and it's the 7th point there. And finally, samadhi, where we realize ourselves as the soul beyond the body as a means to move towards perfection, the soul running this body, just as the driver running any vehicle, and then Ishwar God always inspiring us with the divine guidance. And at the point of samadhi, we start getting real in-depth knowledge from Ishwar God. So that's the ultimate purpose of yoga. And during this session, we are looking at the practical applications of yoga. Some of them were like how to be perfect in life in whatever we do. We looked at the particular sutra which says Sato Dirtkale Nirantar Satkara Siveto Dredbhumi. For whatever we do in life, we have to practice over a long time, be constant in our practice, be dedicated, be passionate with the true goals that we have. And definitely we'll be having what we say Drir Bhumi is will attain our goals and objectives. And when we attain these goals and objectives, we'll be constant there also, not just go down and go up, go down and go up. We'll be having a constant level in our achievements. We looked at Yama, Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, Aparigraha. Ahimsa, non-violence, which allows us to be compassionate towards other forms of life, compassionate to human beings, and generate a better society. Satya, be truthful throughout. Asteya, non-stealing. Brahmacharya, control of our body energy. Be dedicated to be living life on the basis of the universal values as given in the scriptures. So that includes also study of the scriptures. Aparigraha, be moderate in life, not to make use of things, but not to abuse, and not to be over accumulating things that we probably use once in life and then put aside, and over exploiting the world resources. So if we are moderate, the world would be happier. The ultimate goal of yoga is दुखों से छूटना और सुख की प्राप्ति. So we liberate ourselves from pains and sorrows, sufferings, afflictions, and achieve higher and higher levels of happiness. It's not pleasure. Pleasure is tend to be limited to our senses, but happiness is more state of physical, mental, moral, spiritual, social wellness, as the concept goes, which has been taken by WHO. So we move forward now into Yama. Yama is Saucha, which is cleanliness at the level of mind, body, and spirit, which we say internal and external cleanliness. Santosha, be content. Tapa is to endure to some extent adverse situations to build resilience against adversity. Like इसको हिंदी में कहते हैं थोड़ा सा सर्दी गर्मी भूख प्यास आदि सहन करने से by enduring to some degree cold, heat, hunger or thirst, what happens is that the slightest fluctuations in temperature, we are resilient to that, and we develop resistance, especially when there's change of weather from summer to winter, we get the fall season or the spring. So that boosts our immunity under tapa, and enduring some degree of hunger and thirst, that when we find somebody who is thirsty or hungry, we can share our meal or a bottle of water and be more compassionate, practically compassionate in life, things like that. Then Swadhyay is the study of the scriptures. So Sauch, Santosh, Tapas, Swadhyay, and the last one is Ishwar Pranidhan, surrender to Ishwar God, surrender to the laws of nature, to the laws in creation. So Sauch, just remember, it's at the level of body, mind, and spirit. Or we take it from there, it's at the level of Manasa Vacha Karmana. Manasa man se, Vacha vani se, Karmana sharir se. So man is mainly from the thoughts, and I usually include emotions there, because then we are leveled, because we are run both by our thoughts and our emotions. We are not running only on our basis of our mind, we are combining the mind and the heart. So such physical external cleanliness, this is a never-ending process. Like we say, सुबह उठ करके हमने स्नान कर ली. Then when we do other things, our hands get soiled, we have to wash our hands. After having food, we have to wash our hands and mouth. So it's a never-ending process. Infinite amount of soap, water, perfume, but that is not for one time, that goes till the last day of our life. This is physical cleanliness, and that shows that regular practice. एक बार जब आदत डाल दिए, so then we know these are the things that we need to do in life to be physically clean. But then it shows us also that the body is not perfect to purity. जितने इसको रगड़ेंगे, साफ करेंगे, उतने ही it comes again. That is recurring. So it tells us also that at the level of the mind, we need to regularly do the brushing, ragarna chahiye, to keep ourselves pure at the level of the mind. There's one saying in the Vedic philosophy, the Hindu culture, Yatha Pinde Tatha Brahmande, and Yatha Brahmande Tatha Pinde. Whatever we see at the micro level, we also see it at the macro level. And whatever we see at the macro level, we see at the micro level. So the physical thing which we can see and the mental thing which we can't see. So it's one is the finest level, the physical part is the macro level, and the other one is the micro level. So many things like that in life. Like जैसे कहते हैं ना, राई के दाने को हम देखेंगे, the mustard seed, even that grows into a plant. And if you get the mango seed, that also grows into a plant. And once it grows to a plant, it blooms, it will give fruits and other seeds. So that's always like that. Search is a regular, continuous process. And we should also pay attention to the inner aspect of cleanliness. It has an equal importance in the functioning of our body organs. Because when we've maintained physical hygiene and mental hygiene, our stress level decreases. We can better manage ourselves, and that doesn't impact our body organs. Because just like if we don't regularly practice breathing exercise, some meditation, some good reading, be inspired with things. These are things which we can't feel with the hands. We can only feel with our mind and with our heart. And if we don't regulate that, then we'll find that our oxygen level decreases. And when oxygen level decreases, that's where our toxins increases, cells get damaged, that blockages start happening, and even in spite of good physical hygiene, good food and everything, we are still down emotionally and mentally. So that's one of the purpose where pranayam comes into the game. So when we'll do pranayam, we'll look into it. But regulate our breathing, the inhale and exhale, that becomes one process where we start decreasing our stress level and maintain mental hygiene. Because when we do deep inhale and exhale, the first process is to exhale, and when we exhale, is bring the shoulders down, deflate the lungs, and pull the belly inside, contract the stomach. And while inhaling, it's the reverse process, inflating the belly first, then the thorax, and pulling the shoulders up. And when we pull the shoulders up, we can feel the air moving in our brain region, and that starts relieving our stress levels, because when the air flows up there, we bring more and more oxygen to the brain, and this is where we activate our brain to be more alert. So internal hygiene is by following yama and niyama, the do's and don'ts of life. So just remember the other line of the Hindu philosophy, which says, Jaisa an, vaisa man. And if we extend on that, it says, Jaisa ahar, vaisa vichar, or vaisa vyavahar. So it grows on that line. Jaisa an, vaisa man. Jaisa ahar, vaisa vichar, or vaisa vyavahara. So it goes in that. And it flows in the same line as we think. This is what we express our words, and this is what comes as physical actions. So the subtle part of yoga is that it brings us to be practical in life. And the benefit of salt, it says, sattva shuddhi somanasya ekagrahya indriya atma darshan yoga tattvani cha. Sattva shuddhi. When we go on physical and mental cleanliness, we are going to increase the level of satogun in us. And then comes purity of body and mind by the level of increasing of satogun. And the level of satogun increases, then we get the fine, subtle mental abilities. And then clarity of mind comes. Clarity of mind, when it comes, we grow from the normal level of mental activities, as we say, the general level, samanya buddhi. We go towards medha buddhi, where we start using the logic of the mind. And beyond that, we go to ekatanta, where we can be focused on one level of knowledge or one mental activity on one particular subject, and that get prasankhyan jan, where we can develop that one subject within ourselves by looking on the methodology of study. And after that, when we come to the point of more better focus, we'll be more alert, we'll be more cheerful, we'll be having levels of higher and higher levels of satisfaction, positivity, and we'll be controlling our mind, body, and spirit. That is the capacity to unfold the latent potential within us, the dormant potential. So this is where cleanliness comes into, and why we say the level of satogun increases is just like the ripe apple. Take a red ripe apple. Everybody likes that. Why? It's not only because of the physical appearance. We know when the ripe apple is ripe and it's shining, it's glowing, it's good to eat. And that taste comes only when we eat. But when it starts shriveling, this is where Rajogun comes into the game. Then we'll give a second thought before having a bite in that. And when the level of Tamogun comes higher, then it starts leaking. So we won't even look at it, we'll just put it in the trash can. So this is what happens when we maintain physical, mental, emotional hygiene. As we say, physical and internal and external cleanliness. So that it brings us the level of satisfaction, because body cleanliness, we have to do it again and again. And if we, just as we practice physical hygiene, if we practice mental hygiene, we'll be able to reach the targets of better cheerfulness and lower body aches, stress, and the other issues. And that also means some level of physical activities, exercises to keep our body in shape, and some mental exercises like being focused, sit down, even if we feel the flow of thoughts coming, let them flow, never fight the back. Because when they flow, there will come a time when it will stop flowing because the source has been depleted. If we fight there, then we are going to waste our energy, and instead of feeling the good positive silencing of thoughts and emotions, we'll be spending our energy just to stop the flow. Meditation says let it be, and when we let it be, it goes out very fast, and we reach the level of where we can feel the silence and enjoy those moments of silence. The next one is Santosh. Santosh is about being content. And Santosh, it's the state where we are satisfied with the fruits of our actions. After having put up our utmost efforts, the attitude of content, being content, it yields higher and higher levels of happiness. Why? It's because let's look at our life. There are so many things which we get in life. We don't know when we did the karma. We no longer recall when we did the karma, when we did those actions, and we are reaping the fruits of these positive karma now. So when we are putting our efforts to do things, especially getting into positive actions, and we don't get the fruits now, or get the fruits partially, we say, okay, when the divine justice will prevail, the law of karma will prevail, we'll get it probably in some time later. So our satisfaction level stays constant because we know that has gone into what we say sanchit karma, the accumulated karma. And that accumulated karma, positive karma, is going to bring us nearer and nearer to the foundations for a better life. Because the foundations of as we say, future lives is being built now. Like we find children being born, some are born with higher levels of intelligence, higher level of things. Where does that come from? That comes from we all believe in rebirth, and that comes from the karmas for which we didn't reap the fruits in the previous lives. That is sanchit karma, in which becomes prarabdha karma now. So that is being activated now. So for whatever we do, we've not reaped the fruits, we know it's going into our, as we say, account balance of karma. And what happens is that, especially when we are doing benevolent actions, nishkam seva, without any, as we say, hidden agenda, that we are going to reap something personal for us when we are doing benevolent actions, when we are doing seva. We are just doing it for the cause of humanity. We are going to do it for the cause of welfare of the society. So those nishkam seva is what will bring us more and more closer to mukti, moksha. And santosh is when we realize that whatever we've done, we be satisfied with the results that we have. We know we've put up the utmost efforts. This is where we've done. Next time when we do it, we'll do it better and better. So the level of being content will be living a stress-free life a balanced life, and that will diminish our level of unhappiness and increase our level of happiness. That is also bringing us to resilience to difficult situations. And it shows us that after every fall, we'll stand up and start running again. Santosh also brings us to the level of we never lose faith in ourselves, never lose faith in our friends and relatives, never lose faith in humanity, never lose faith in, as we say, that whatever nature is giving to us, even if the situation is adverse, when we are content, we know somewhere, sometime, it's nature returning what we've done to nature. So we'll also be better and better aware of karma, the law of karma, or as we say, the divine justice. We've put up our efforts, we've got certain results, some are outstanding, but we know that the divinity will make good for the shortfall in due time. We become more flexible, we become more selfless in life, and life becomes a process of growth even when the circumstances are not favorable to us. So that's a key word in yoga. A key word in yoga, because even when we are doing, if we look at what I said in our practice in any field of life, be regular in our practice, practice for a long time with lots of passion and dedication. We know we have to reach, say, run 100 meters in in our case, probably less than 20 seconds, and we don't reach that. We say, okay, this is how we had put up our efforts today. We are satisfied we did it in, say, 25 seconds. But we know eventually our efforts will bring us to the results we are expecting. It's the same thing when we do the bundle of exercises under Yogasana, Hatha Yoga. It's not what we are trying to achieve, it's we are satisfied in what we are doing today, and we know with regular practice we are going to be more flexible. So with the flexibility of the body in Yogasana, Hatha Yoga, we should also bring the flexibility of the mind, which is in Yoga Darshan. And Santosh is a key word there. And when we look in, we'll be looking into the hurdles which Yoga Darshan tells us. These are the practical hurdles also in day-to-day life. It's not only on the spiritual level, it's on the level of day-to-day life. Like it says, Vyadhi, Styan, Sanshay, it's physical, mental ailment, and then doubt, all these things. So when we know that we are gradually overcoming those hurdles of life, and we are content with our achievements, we have the inner drive to do better and better in life. So take it there. We looked at Soch, internal and external cleanliness, purity at the level of mind, body, and spirit, or purity at the level of thoughts, of our words and our physical actions. Then Santosh, be content. That's the key word in life. There's one sentence I will end with संतोष. जो भी क्षति होती है ना, ईश्वर इसकी पूर्ति जरूर करते हैं. And that's where we find in life, we don't recall for what we do, and we say we are really blessed for these things. Somewhere, sometime, we did those positive karma to get the blessings. And to be really blessed in life, we have to maintain the spirit, maintain the practice, and continue further. Any questions, please? We can everybody unmute ourselves and then share the questions or the comments.
So we have three more things: Tapa, Swadhyaya, and Ishwar Paridhan in the.
It's Tapa, Swadhyay, and Ishwar Pranidhan on Niyam. And then we'll be moving on to the other steps of yoga, looking into the hurdles of life, and then do some practice of pranayama also, and then focus dharana and dhyana.
So Santosh,
Yes.
like if we have Santosh, then after that we will not have much aspiration.
I didn't catch the last word.
Aspiration, we will have less aspiration. We will have more Santosh, then we will have less aspiration.
No, I would say we'll have the drive to do better and better, the aspirations, but then we'll not be chasing things which are not useful in life.
Santosh is basically we have to find out what are the useful, what are the things we should chase, and what are the things we should not chase for.
Yeah. When we combine it with aparigraham, non-accumulation of superfluous things, so that gives us the ideal combination. We'll be looking at the essentials rather than the superfluous. And this is where it moves into the concept of Hindu philosophy. After living the married life, when the children have grown up, they have their own family, then we leave the step of married life to go for more in the Vanprasth ashram, where we stop the day-to-day routine in like running to earn and everything, because we know the children are now settled, we have sufficient to live our life. Then we go more towards the spiritual end. And eventually, when we go to the higher levels, we'll go into a renunciation, which is sannyas.
So don't start thinking about the grandchildren after that, right? So just stop there.
So when we know they are settled, the family is well, so we are satisfied.
So that's where the Santosh, limit of Santosh.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Acharyaji.
Okay, namaste everybody. We'll see you next week for further in depth on niyama. And then we'll be looking also at other aspects of yoga, which is basically in day-to-day life, making us better persons. And this is the level of, we'll look into dukhon se chhotna, sukh ki prapti karna. So just to wish you a happy journey on that life. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you. Namaste.